in Salford a couple of years back. We're on course for 88 if we carry on like this. In the bright sunshine in the beautiful city of Manchester, not a cloud in the sky, as Castleford kick off the second half. And Steve Southern, the Wakefield captain, one of 8 try scorers in the first half, takes the football up for the first time in the second period.
Well, I'm sure that both coaches would have talked about discipline, composure in this second half. And both halfbacks as well, in Tim Smith and Rangi Chase, I say, get me to the right area of the park and I'll score tries, but we can't keep giving those silly penalties and making silly mistakes when we're bringing the ball away from our line. Don't give cheap yardage away.
Yeah, we've already seen that Tim Smith and Rangi Chase can pull the strings for the respective sides and create try-scoring opportunities if they are given the right kind of opportunity in the right area of the field. This time Richard Owen is put right back on his own try line, a 2-try man against Wakefield early in the season, runs into 3 Wakefield Trinity Wildcats, including Carl Wood.
Rod, and that's exactly what Richard Agar would have been talking about. He'd be very happy with that. They get through the set to 6, they come up with a decent kick, the chase is exceptional, and then they control the speed at which Castleford play the ball.
Wakefield have only won once at Magic Weekend. That was in 2008 when they annihilated Castleford 54-16, but 4 defeats on their CV in terms of Magic Weekend matches. One of the worst records. Leeds have got the best. They've won every time they've been at Magic, 5 out of 5. The attempt to make it half a dozen of the best against Bradford tomorrow. Richard Mathers, once up the Leeds Rhinos, will watch that go dead. It'll be a 20-metre restart.
It's always interesting to see how the teams come out of the changing rooms. For Wakefield, a very conservative set, a good chase, a good kick, and they controlled Castleford. Castleford's kick just dropped off the island. I wonder whether Richie Agar was happy, thought we can do a little bit better, or in fact really pleased. I think both sides, in terms of attack, have really thrown some questions at their opposition, but it's defensively they need to work harder.
Well, surprised you can see anything through those glasses. It looks like something out of Reservoir Dogs. Richard Agar there, Reservoir Wildcats, as they lead here 24-20 against the Castleford Tigers. Wood is bent double backwards, finds Smith, and Smith finds Sykes, and Sykes' left boot will just find Richard Owen, whose ball finds the ground, and Wakefield, I was going to say forced an error, but it was an unforced error, wasn't it?
Well, I think the 2 kicks from Paul Sykes have been fantastic in this second half. It's a spiral bomb. We've already talked about the difficulty they win. I'm not so sure whether some was there for Richard Owen, but it's been too difficult for them to take, and the pressure applied through those kicks now gives Wakefield his first chance here to attack.
Maybe should have borrowed Richard Agar's sunglasses. There isn't a cloud in the sky, the sun will be a factor, but it is the wind. It's swirling around this Etihad Stadium. And Cass have got some defensive work to do, because Wakefield are only up by 4, are going to start a set here 10 metres from the line. Smith feeds the scrum and gets it out again. Awkward ball for Mathers, but handled the football okay, but then went headlong into Brett Ferris, who knocked him down with some help from Nathan Massey. Danny Westbrook, he's already scored once this afternoon and he's hunting a second. Brett Ferris gets him in a bear hug, come here and rolls him over, but it's all Wakefield now at the start of this second half. Again it's Smith, and now it's Paul Ayton, and Ayton's trying to go through a gap. He almost scored in the first half, denied by the video referee. Smith steps up his left foot and steps straight into the hands of Adam Milner. 2 tackles left. Wakefield threatening, more points. Mathers to Sykes, and Sykes cannot get through that gap, so this will be the final tackle in this sequence of sit for the Wakefield Wildcats. Ali Lawatiti is at dummy half. Wood prods it forward, left-footed, oh, and it's dropped, it's fumbled, it's free. Well, there could be a try on here. Robert Hicks plays on. Could be a knock-on either way, but Robert Hicks, I think, made the right call. Play on, and let's ask the video referee, James Child, to tell us exactly what happened.
Well, the ball initially comes forward off the Castleford player. Well, here's the kick. They're all onside, you can see. There's good pressure from the Wakefield attackers. You can see the Cass defender, he goes up to Jordan Thompson, who loses the ball. Well, does a Wakefield player knock the ball on? And it just goes through a couple of players later. Well, there's Jordan Thompson, he has the ball.
Well, Terry, is that going to be a tackle in the air? I'm sure that's a question that will be asked the video referee, because was Thompson hit in the air as he was trying to grab the ball?
Well, was he still going up for that ball as well? If the Wakefield players challenge him for the ball, let's see if they both leap at the same time. Well, Thompson's got his eyes on the ball. He takes the ball cleanly here, and then is he taken out?
I think probably you'd have to say yes, just with the fact that the arms of Danny Washbrook are over the shoulders at this point here.
Yeah, but you can see all the players before Jordan Thompson catches that ball are the Wakefield players in the air challenging for the ball.
I'm going to say Danny Washbrook tackles him in the air.
Yeah, Collis and Washbrook were the two men involved for Wakefield, and it's odds on to be disallowed because we didn't even see the grounding. James Child is the video referee. He says that's a penalty to Castleford. Jordan Thompson was taken in the air. Richard Agar hoped his side were going to go 8 points in front. The try is chalked off.
Well, they get away with that one, Castleford. But they can't keep giving that field position. There it is, Jordan Thompson. He does get the ball. But video referee James Child saying he was taken out. That's why the try was disallowed.
That's two near misses for the Wakefield Wildcats. Paul Ayton, remember, spilled the ball trying to ground it in the first half. And then we saw Danny Washbrook denied there for tackling in the air. Jordan Thompson was the man impeded. So here come Castleford up the other end of the field now, trying to get back on terms here. They've dodged one there. There is Jordan Thompson, scored the first try, involved in that incident there a moment or two ago as well. As Milner comes in at dummy half, coming off the bench. They have got a bit of a hooking crisis. Darryl Clark is out of action for months with a knee ligament problem picked up at Hull KR last weekend. That is a huge blow to them as Jonathan Walker takes the ball on the fifth tackle. Danny Orr, he missed last week at Hull KR as well. A high ball towards Dixon, who spills it, and had he caught it, he wasn't far away from just having to fall over and put the ball down.
Absolutely, I think he may well have timed his jump or leap just slightly wrong. Although no.
If he caught it, he was in, wasn't he?
Yeah, you're right, you're right.
Five minutes gone, second half, yet to add to the total tally of 44 points. Wakefield have 24 of those. 4 tries apiece. That's expansive stuff on your own 20-metre line. Peter Fox is the recipient, former England international, crabbing sideways, now straightens up. And almost went through a gap. Grant Millington, the Australian, came across to knock Peter Fox down 20 metres away from his own line. Here is Andy Raleigh, the former Huddersfield man. He's 31 now. I think Andy Raleigh scored in his Wakefield debut against Widnes earlier in the season. That's the left boot of Paul Sykes. Owen, who spilled that high bomb a few minutes ago, collects this grubber cleanly enough. Well, he's got no support with him. He's going to have to take the tackle himself. And Wakefield's chase was pretty good.
Well, you know the nice mix that Wakefield have there, don't they, with their attack. The long pass from Tim Smith, any side with Smith in it, he's going to throw some passes, and Wakefield have done that this year. And then the left kick from Paul Sykes, clearly coming out in the second half, playing on the left-hand side of the field, and the ball then kicked more easily down that left wing by a left-footed player like Sykes.
Dixon plays the ball. Good strong run here. That's good strong stuff. There's going to be a lot of hard work to be done in the heat out there in the remaining 33 minutes.
Well, Rod, Castleford are making a lot more metres than Wakefield. Wakefield seem to be struggling, bringing the ball away, and they've got to earn the right to play before they go wide, in my opinion.
Cash started the first half very well, having a good spell here. Chase, that looks way, way, way too long, and in fact almost ends up in the crowd behind the posts.
Well, that was nothing to do with the wind. Again, he was looking over into the corner, and he just slices that ball. It goes straight between the sticks, out on the full. Wakefield getting the ball back. And just watch how many metres they make here now. You've got to credit Castleford's defence. Been very strong in that area.
Talked about the influence of Rangi Chase for Castleford as he comes back to the team after that long ban. They've only won 2 of the 8 games he's missed for them, but also the big stat, 36% of Castleford's tries last season were either scored or created by Chase. It's a staggering statistic. This is Collis. Dean Collis, the Australian, was squirming free, looking to offload, but couldn't find the appropriate pass, so had to take the tackle. Ayton! And for a small man, he absolutely runs fearlessly straight and true. This is Wood, taking the benefit of that quick play the ball by Ayton. This is Amor, the former Leeds Rhino. Last tackle for Wakefield then. This is a good set for the Wildcats. Mathers grubbers it up towards the try line, collected on his own goal line by Richard Owen. Good set that from Wakefield, very good set from near their own line to the cast line.
A conservative, well-constructed set by Wakefield. And possibly with 48 minutes on the clock, they're looking to get into that metaphorical arm wrestle that coaches talk about, going kick for kick, set for set. We haven't seen too much from Ali Lawatiti. He's the genius on the Wakefield team, just hanging over, being patient on this left edge in attack.
Chase the ace in the pack, managed to get free there, find Jordan Thompson, but all he found was two Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. One of them was Tim Smith. Now Chase puts in a reverse kick this time, and Richard Mathers can watch that go towards the sideline. He'll collect it just before it goes into touch. He's scored once here. Mathers against his parent club. He's on loan from the Tigers.
Well, they've both settled down now, and they seem to be finding the rhythm, don't they, in this second half. As Barry's already talked about going set for set with each other. We both know they've got players in both sides that can play the game. Paul Sykes will get a bit frustrated there, not getting up and playing the ball as quickly as he would have liked to.
Ben Cockayne, former Hull KR and Featherstone man. This is Danny Kermond, a workaholic forward if ever there was one. Sporting the headband. Wood to Smith, and that will split the back two for Castleford. Youngquest, well, where is it? It's there somewhere, Nick, and he gets hold of it eventually. A bouncing ball that threatened to make a mug of Nick Youngquest, but in the end he found it and managed to make a little bit of ground.
Well, I was talking about Ali Lawatiti and what threat he might pose to this game. I think he's just been replaced by the hard-working Danny Kermond.
Well, Ali Lawatiti, he did play against Warrington last weekend, but 4 matches off before then, Barry, and with an injury, and I'm not sure he's fully match fit yet. He's going to have to be used, particularly in this heat and short burst, I think, and that's what Richard Agar is planning to do, use him as one of his interchanges fairly regularly in this match.
I agree, Rod. You might see Ali. It's stuck in my throat as I said it. You'll see Ali come on near the end.
We'll see Chase here. Well, he threatened to run it, then he prodded it through. It's a good kick too. It's going to force a goal line dropout. Paul Sykes wasn't interested in trying to field that and get out of trouble. Kick it behind, get rid of it. Safety first, but Castleford are going to have a threatening position here from this GLDO.
Well, that's the nice little delicate kick that Rangi Chase was looking for. And Paul Sykes, he wasn't taking any chances with that.
Am I too harsh thinking he could have picked that up then?
I think it had already hit his body. He was a bit nervous that players behind him. We've had a good 10 minutes there, Rod. I really enjoyed that struggle that's gone on from one end to the other. The Tigers have used players running from behind to play the ball to get downfield. A bit more passing and variety in the kicks from the Wakefield side. But after 10 minutes of slogging and hitting one another as hard as they possibly can, the Tigers now have the first chance with this dropout to strike from deep.
Yeah, first chance of repeat sets, and we know how dangerous they are. Repeat set force from that goal line dropout by the Tigers. Could be a big moment in this game. Oliver Holmes, who scored that try just prior to the half-time siren, takes that ball up. Castleford fans getting behind their team here, trying to roar them forward. Chase goes and dummies and then throws a loose pass. We saw one picked off for an interception try by Vince Mellors. This time it's not quite as damaging, but it does bring a dramatic halt to a Castleford attacking position as Peter Fox brings it away for Wakefield. Oh, offloads! Bravely, some would say recklessly, to Carl Wood, and Craig Hooby says, come here.
Well, Rangi Chase, he's looking for Richard Owen to come short, because he got the defence, the Wakefield defence, interested in what he was doing, and Richard Owen needed to come shorter, just take a soft little play, and maybe go straight through the gap.
Well, Chase was the architect of that brilliant try just before half-time, but we have seen him just off sync with some of his teammates. We alluded to the fact that he's been out for a few weeks, and it may take a little bit of time. I know they've been out on the training paddock, obviously working, but nothing quite like being out on the match field. Tim Smith puts a ball in behind Nick Youngquest again, and Youngquest is have to scurry back here, and the bounce has completely eluded him, and it could be a try for Wakefield. Peter Fox has been handed a try on a silver salver by Nick Youngquest. The bounce was horrible, and Youngquest will want to forget all about that. He won't want to see the replay. Peter Fox will just lap it up, and Wakefield get the crucial first try of the second half.
Well, when the kick's put in by your half-back, that is only the start of the job. You know that you've got to chase hard, you've got to earn the right to come up with a special play, and that's exactly what they're doing. Nick Youngquist, he lost where that ball was, bobbling all over him. You can see them pointing up. Nick Youngquist was saying, who's down, who's back? He's pointing behind, the ball beats him, but 3 players in front of him, and that's just clever play from Peter Fox, pushing up, working hard as a unit. You've got to make sure that you communicate when you're defending and call his soft little hands to Fox.
Do you know, somebody with a PhD in physics might be able to explain to me, why is it that the third bounce of the rugby ball on a kick like that is always the difficult one? It either bounces up or not. You watched the number of times you kick the ball. The third bounce is an awkward one. Usually goes higher than ever, and that one has tricked the winger and certainly put the Wakefield back in this.
Well, it's really good to have 3 half-backs of some repute alongside me.
Half-wit.
I'm going to say...
How much of that was luck and how much of that is skill by Tim Smith?
It's obviously, there's an element of luck, but the third bounce on a kick like that differs. There must be some energy in the ball. We know this pitch is hard and will get harder as the day goes on. They don't have the opportunity to water it throughout the games, so it will get harder and the bounce of the ball will go even more like a faster tennis game.
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually, because there'll be coaches, the 4 coaches of the teams that haven't played yet, probably looking at and maybe just adapting their tactics as necessary. Let's just see what happens to Paul Sykes here from this place kick, where he looks to put Wakefield even further in front. They led 24-20 at half-time. They lead 28-20 after Peter Fox's try there, his 8th of Super League 17. And Paul Sykes is trying to stretch the lead for the Wildcats over the Tigers. No, sir. Drifts away. 28-20 it is.
Well, Phil, Barry still looks confused there. He's going to be counting all the bounces here now this afternoon. But maybe there is an element of luck. But Tim Smith, the low kick, kicks it to the floor, and then he's got more of a chance of getting this ball back. But it's the chasers here. Kermond, Nick Youngquist, he was counting for the ball going a bit further back, and that's the third play. You're right, Phil. Don't try and count them all afternoon, Barry. You'll mess up.
I'm still looking at my fingers now. 3. I got them all.
I could never get past 3, so that was the only one I could ever count to. But when the ball's kicked like that, the third one differs from the 2 previous before it.
Well, let's hope someone doesn't go for the old 4-bounce ploy later on in the game. Goodness.
You've always got to go one better, haven't you?
8 and then for the Wildcats, up by 8. We've seen a lot of points. We've seen 9 tries, but we're yet to see a 10-point gap, a double-digit gap between the teams. So it's still only an 8-point game here. Castleford have got to score twice now, and reminding you that they led after 52 seconds of this match. Wakefield looking for the win that would take them above the Tigers on the league ladder. This ball won't bounce 3 or 4 times. It's straight down the throat of Owen, but it still wanted some catching. Well judged and well handled by the Castleford fullback.
He needed to be good and all, Richie Owen. In the back of his mind, obviously, if there's a line break, if there's a kick and a mistake, the fullback is similar to the goalkeeper in football. He's the last line of defence. He knew he had to be right on the money on that occasion.
Yes, and by that token, Barry, all his mistakes are absolutely magnified as well, aren't they? Like the one we've just seen from Youngquist on that other wing. Had he done that on the halfway line, it would have been forgotten almost instantaneously. He did it in that area of the field. It's cost his team a try.
I don't think it was a mistake, really, Rod. You're critical of the winger. Where was the mistake? The ball just went away from him.
Movement! Hold on, Nick. Go.
Go on then, Rod.
I think he's got you.
I'm not going to argue with Clark. Richard Mathers takes this one in his own goal area. He's done well there because there were 3 or 4 Castleford Tigers pursuing him. Thompson was one of them. The other one was Jackson. They've got him pinned down here, but they're looking to force an error, and they've done the exact opposite and conceded a penalty.
Craig Hubie's down in background. Had a bad knee injury, kept him out of the game for almost 12 months. You just see Craig Hubie, the number 10.
Time off.
I think he broke his kneecap, didn't he? It's a horrendous injury.
Okay. No worries.
He's back up though, thankfully now, celebrating his testimonial year.
Yeah, he was out of the game for a year, Barry. Yeah, it was a horrendous kneecap. It shattered against St Helens when they were playing over at Widnes last year. Just prior to Easter, his comeback was in against that cup tie against Featherstone Rovers, but he's performed a minor sporting miracle to get back on the field at all, Craig Hooby, and it is terrific to see him back. And they'll still be targeting an international appearance by the end of the year. England have got the Exiles Games and the Autumn Internationals as well. I'm sure Hooby will look to force his way into that frame, but here he's trying to force Castleford back into this game here. We're almost at the halfway point of the second half.
Oh, shot.
Kyle Amor just shrugged it off and then offloaded brilliantly left-handed to Danny Washbrook, and now to Vince Mellors. Mellors was thinking of offloading but thought better of it. Smothered by Danny Orr. Coming up next, Warrington versus Widnes, the Wolves against the Vikings. Kicks off at 4 p.m. here at the Etihad. And then last on today's tasty menu, it's the Hull derby. Hull won the previous one easy at the KC. Hull FC against Hull KR. Ball spilled, knock off. Castleford ball.
The man who tried to pass the ball through is the one before there.
Wakefield come up with a simple error. Is that pass forward?
What's Millington's first name?
Andy Rally's running on the wrong angle for Tim Smith. He puts the ball into the place where he wants him. Unfortunately, he's not there.
Come on, hang on.
It's a knock-on, head and feed to Cass.
Clock was off for your man.
Wakefield only one win in their last 7 matches.
Hurry up, come on.
Trying to improve on that record today, and if they do, they'll move up to 11th on the league ladder, above the Tigers.
Back up.
They'll be just London Broncos and Widnes below Cass if the result stays as it is right now. The Tigers, though, are in possession on the halfway line. Chase handling the ball again. Holmes taking it down this near side. He had Rhys Williams outside him. Williams on loan from the Warrington Wolves that we will see next against Widnes. Milner to Hooby. Good strong defence from Wakefield. Ayton, who's had another busy game in there. Andy Rally on the stop as well.
He's outstanding, Paul Ayton. Plays well above his weight. Brings the ball, hits hard in contact. Brings the ball forward with venom.
27 on Tuesday is Paul Ayton. Might have something to celebrate. Well, Danny Kerman is all over Danny Orr and the whistle blows. I'm not sure how much influence Danny Orr had on that decision. He appeared to be making a pretty concerted appeal to Robert Hicks, and he eventually blew the whistle. Chase is hit very, very hard, but still got the ball away to the Australian Grant Millington. Amor has him in a bear hug. He needs Ayton to get involved, and the ball is spilled, and that is a big blunder on tackle 1, so close to the opposition's line.
Well, we just talked about Paul Ayton. It was Paul Ayton who comes out and he initially hits Rangi Chase. And then they get themselves involved. It's Raleigh who's over the top and forces the Castleford player to lose the ball.
Well, Ian Millwood will be sat in the stand seeing that. That is tackle 1, remember, which the set started 10 metres from the opposition's line.
And it's disappointing, but there's 20 minutes left, so you can't dwell on that as a negative, can you? You've got 20 minutes. Try and put something right and try and catch up the 8 points that they currently sit behind. They've got enough time in the game to score the points. Can they defend well enough, though, in this final quarter to prevent Wakefield from scoring again? If they do, they've got a chance of winning.
Well, Ian Millwood has one of the most winningmost records as a Super League coach. He's won 2/3 of his matches as a coach as Saints and Wigan, and now Castleford. That is a penalty. Youngquest on Collis. Well, he wags his finger. Italian football star. We're at the home of the Premier League champions, Manchester City. But the bottom line is Robert Hicks has given Wakefield the penalty on halfway.
Well, that came from Danny Kerman's half break. He offloads the ball, and then Nick Youngquest is trying to control that next tackle. Gives away the penalty.
Well, with 20 minutes to go, you'd feel that another Wakefield try would be, as they say in the business, GSM, game, set and match, because they won't be coming back from a 3-try deficit, surely, Castleford Tigers. Wakefield have scored the only points of this second half. It came from Peter Fox's try. Oh, half asleep at dummy half was Carl Wood. He's got away with it, unless he was dumbing everybody, including me, and it was all part of the game plan.
You're right, Rod. He's very fortunate then. Kyle Amor wins collision, gets down, quick play the ball. You've got to switch on the...
Kyle Amor Takes 2 men to drag him down, but now they've got the people in the scheming positions. Wood will be no doubt looking for Tim Smith or Paul Sykes. Sykes has done just that to find Richard Mathers, and Mathers would like a second try on the afternoon against the club that's loaned him out to the Wildcats. Sykes looked one way, then went the other. Wood, and it's over the head of Vince Mellors and collected by Ben Cockayne. Cockayne grubbers through, and they'll turn it over pretty close to the cast line. Look at the silky skills of Craig Hooby dancing around there on his own try line.
A little bit scrappy from Wakefield. They went for that short side play. A training ground move meant they faked to go to the open side, come back to the blind. Ben Cockayne puts a little kick in, and you're right, Craig Hooby, with everybody else in front of him, all his teammates saying, "Score it, Chubbs."
Hell, 4, release, go.
There might be a little bit of a call for a touch from, is it Nixon? Dixon, sorry, Kirk Dixon. Does he touch that, Tez?
I think that comes off the Wakefield player, not the Cast player.
Lots of good stuff. Good kick, good chase. He does well to get out of his in-goal area there. Mathers, very well. Wakefield, remember, have a 2-score lead, though, so they don't need to do anything particularly flash inside their own half. The pressure to force something, to create something, is all on the Castleford Tigers now. Here's Mellors, the former Crusader. They really want to force an error here, Castleford. They could do with getting the ball back in this area of the field. Wakefield putting it through the hands, putting it into the hands of Kyle Amor, and Craig Hooby makes the tackle with Adam Milner in attendance. Smith, oh, that is impudent. Well, it's high risk, it's low percentage, and now they're going to turn it over. Tim Smith has taken a huge risk. He's rolled the dice there and come up with the wrong number.
That's a big, big gamble, that. They were struggling to get forward, but I'm not so sure whether that's the kick you're looking for. When a game that's so close like this, Castleford only 8 points behind.
Well, it looks fantastic if it comes off, and we'd all been raving about it, but in the end it could backfire completely. Craig Hooby rumbling forward like a runaway truck for the Castleford Tigers. Chase, that's a big hit, that's a great tackle, that's an important tackle too. Still Castleford with Rangi Chase, offloads out the back door. Danny Orr ducks under one tackle, gets it away, back to Chase. Chase, a risky ball. They're trying to find Rhys Williams, and Wakefield have snaffled it close to their own line. And it's a good interception by Andy Raleigh.
Well, that's the second time now in the last couple of minutes they've had good field position, yet they've come up with a mistake. They're looking to play, they're looking to set the teammates free, but I'm not so sure whether that play's even on. Ian Millward would have just been happy if the players would have gone down, played the ball, and looked to get him on that next play.
Well, let's credit Wakefield for their urgency. Obviously made a mistake, or made a bad call, bad decision. Tim Smith gave possession away to Castleford, and they had enough character and mental strength to defend the goal line on that occasion.
Castleford have won the last 3 meetings with Wakefield. Is that sequence of successes about to halt here at the Etihad Stadium? Because Wakefield lead 28-20 in this quarter of an hour left.
What is clear is that the points have certainly dried up since the half-time address. Both coaches were effective in getting the messages across they wanted to improve defensively. Now, can that concentration be maintained for sides who haven't got into that winning habit, haven't particularly played well over 80 minutes, but we've got a great finish here now for the next 15.
Yes, Castleford haven't scored since the last play of the first half, so 25 minutes without a point from Castleford, and they've got to score at least twice in the final 15 minutes to get something out of this game. It's becoming a tall order for the Tigers, but they're in possession here with Mitchell, and Mitchell making half a break down that far touchline. That's the Castleford Tigers left. They've got a couple of tackles left in the bank here. They've got the ball into the hands of Rangi Chase, the familiar hop, step and a jump from the England international. Last tackle. Danny Orr puts boot to ball. Too long, you fancy. Easy for Ben Cockayne. Meat and drink to the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats winger.
Ben Cockayne's not happy with something, but he certainly did his job. And Danny Orr, who was under some pressure, probably had enough time to place the ball where he wanted it. That looked a little bit high from Kirk Dixon on Paul Ayton. You have to say Ayton, Kyle Amor been very, very industrious in the middle of the pitch for Wakefield.
Lauatiti did look adjacent, didn't it, Barry? Lauatiti came into the tackle there. It has to be a good tackle if Ali Lauatiti can't offload the ball in it, because he'll look to conjure it out at any opportunity. There is Ayton to Smith to Raleigh, and Raleigh just drives it straight up the middle. Last tackle comes 35 metres out from Castleford's line. Smith goes high towards Youngquest. They'll target him. He takes that one clean enough, but he's knocked down 8 metres from his own line.
Well, he was ready for that ball then, because Tim Smith pointed exactly to where that ball was going to go. He wanted to test him out again, see if he come up with the same mistake. There he does. He gets behind the ball, brings it forward. He's played well apart from that one mistake in the game, Nick Youngquest.
Castleford have to score twice, and time is ticking away. Every second now a friend to the Wildcats. Chase threatened to throw a long pass in the end, just prodded one forward, didn't really get it right. Ben Cockayne might get it right here for Wakefield. Ben Cockayne is absolutely flying here. He's going to score in the corner. Oh, does he, as Richard Owen comes across to hound him down close to the corner flag. It will surely be the match winner if it's given. Ben Cockayne, 7 tries in 7 games earlier on in the season, on a little bit of a drought at the moment. Has he ended the drought with the match winner here for the Wildcats?
I don't think he got this down.
That is brilliant defence from Richard Owen, isn't it? All the Wakefield fans thought that he'd grounded that ball, but what a defensive effort. This is as good as a score in a try. Richard Owen here, look at the work that he does. Ben Cockayne diving, looking at that try line. I'm nearly there, I'm nearly there. Look at the effort here.
I'm going to go back to my point about the thumb. If he has his thumb around that ball, he can take it away from his chest and put it down there. Because he's got his thumb wrapped around it, he can't ever pull it with any confidence away from his body. That's a tremendous effort from Richard Owen, but poor execution there from Ben Cockayne.
That is outstanding, that, Phil, isn't it?
You know, he's one of my favourite players, and I think over the next 2 or 3 years could develop to be one of the best fullbacks in this competition. It's a pity, though, that I think that try-saving tackle will not help Castleford win this game. He needs some of his players here to come up with some magic to get out of the hole that they're in, 8 points behind. But a wonderful player's given him a chance.
Confirmation that it is a try-saving tackle. And with Cockayne in touch, in goal, it'll be a 20-metre restart. Yeah, and you've got to give Owen an even bigger pat on the back, because he's been ill this week as well and wasn't even certain to play. He'd been, you know, quite unwell this week with a virus, so he's playing in this heat, and it's not the place to be playing in if you're not feeling too good out there.
Well, he's had to come up with that play and that defensive effort from Rangi Chase's little kick that he probably wasn't aware of. He was in the middle of the park. Yeah, he's had to switch on to defend that tackle, so that was very good read from the young fullback.
Well, it keeps the Castleford ship afloat. Had that try been scored, it virtually would have been the end of the game. Would have been a 12-point game and possibly 14 with the conversion. Cast just about clinging on to the game with their fingertips here. Brett Ferris has gone wide and spotted half a gap. Strong run from Ferris. Ball knocked down. Could be a Castleford head and feed here. Yes, it is.
It comes off Kermond, doesn't it? Good spot, Rob. Comes off Danny Kermond. He gets in between the 2 Castleford players. Ferris gets his hand free, you can see, just pushes Mitchell, makes a play for that ball. Correct decision from Robert Hicks.
He's a very skillful player, Brett Ferris. Played 41 times for the Wakefield club. Watch him hold this ball. When I talk about grit, when I talk about thumb around the ball, that's what it allows you to do. Bring it away from your body and make it available.
We're on the line, guys. I don't know why you're crawling that way. Come on.
Obviously, it touches Danny Kermond, goes into touch.
Get in quicker, please. Richie, ball in there.
Ferris playing in the second row these days, again, has been used as an emergency centre. It's not quite must-score territory for Castleford, but it's getting towards that. Chase offloads again to Jordan Thompson, and Thompson this time cannot get away from the long arms of Ali Lauatiti. Dixon for Castleford now. Important moments in the match these, approaching the final 10 minutes of the game. Castleford are down by 8 points and looking to unlock the Wakefield defence with Rangi Chase once more running across the line, caught in possession but still offloads to Jackson, and Jackson is smothered by 4 or 5 Wakefield Wildcats, and had he been able to play the ball quickly, there was chances there, but they've managed to slow down the play the ball. Milner, chance here for Danior! Danior is in! Danior has scored a try for Castleford. Possible skin-saving try for the Castleford Tigers. The veteran halfback has breathed life into the game once more. Castleford halved the Wakefield lead.
Well, Danior, at 34 years of age, he's played over 400 career games. Lots of experience, lots of miles on the clock. I've seen him pushing and pointing the last 10 or 15 minutes, getting a lot of attention. But Brett Ferris, the man outside him, doesn't allow the Wakefield defence. It's Peter Fox who has 2 decisions to make. Do I get Danior, or do I slip off to the player that he might pass? And Danior shows it and planks the ball over the try line.
Yeah, just turned 34. Danior, as Barry was mentioning, in his second spell at Castleford. Amazing to think his first Castleford debut in that first spell was back in March 1997. I think Barry was still playing. As Orr attempts to convert his own try, and bang, straight between the posts. Great conversion from Orr to the 4-pointer he's just scored. Now there's a game on, 10 minutes left, and only 2 points in it. It's 28-26 Wakefield.
Well, Castleford are a tremendous outfit when they're up that end of the park, but Dean Collis gets that all wrong. He comes in for the wrong man, and he needed to keep his shape in defence. People talk about shape in attack, you need to have shape in defence as well. He jumps the gun, he leaves a gaping gap, and Danior scores the try.
5 tries apiece, 10 different try scorers. The difference just one missed goal kick, really. Cass have missed a couple of shots at goal, and Wakefield have missed just the one. That's the difference between the teams. The tries are all square, the points aren't. 28-26, Wildcats. The hors d'oeuvre to a feast of rugby league over the next couple of days here at the Etihad Stadium in Manchester. Good stuff from Stuart Jones. Not over yet, this game. Wakefield didn't look like they had it in the bag, but certainly close to had it in the bag about 2 minutes ago when they had a couple of tries in hand. Now it's very much on a knife edge again here after that try and conversion by Danior. Milner to Chase, and Chase prods it down towards that touchline. And a penalty given here to Wakefield. Brett Ferris went barrelling in there, and Wakefield are going to get a penalty. Robert Hicks says, you know what you've done.
Yeah, there was just a barge in the back. Brett Ferris wearing 11 but playing in the centre. Hurries onto that ball and just gives, I think it's Peter Fox, just a little shoulder charge, a little bump, get out of the way, and then pleads innocence.
I'll be fascinated now to see whether Wakefield look nervous. The 2 points in front, you'd think that certainly gives them a better chance of winning inside the last 10 minutes. But Castleford now, I don't know, they prefer, I think, trying to go into the last 10 minutes of the match just behind their opponents. Maybe sometimes it's easy to play, you've got that hunger, the desire, you are the underdog, and you can chase a game, which is what they're happy doing.
Well, Wakefield started the game as 4-point underdogs, but they are odds-on favourites now to go on and win it because the time shows there's only 7 minutes left and they have the lead. The question is, how conservative do they become trying to protect this lead? There's an innate idea that they will just keep going back into their shell and playing things very conservative to avoid making any kind of errors. It's almost human nature to protect what you have in this situation, but it's
Rob,
dangerous.
It's dangerous, Rob, because you've got to do what gets you in front on the scoreboard. If you just try and play percentage football, 5 drives and a kick, it's not going to work for you.
It does happen though, Terry, doesn't it? It's self-nature, it's just what's in the back of your mind, it's what you revert to, it's just the way it is.
But you still want to keep going, you still want to be taking your chances, and when you get your opportunities down the other end of the park, you want to try and come up with a score. It's not about just getting to the kick and defending that next set.
Chase. Castleford still have to find a scoring play in the next 6 minutes and 50 seconds or Wakefield will win.
Hold Danny, wait there.
penalties at a premium here. Discipline a key to any team that doesn't have the football, and that looked a little bit late from Ali Lawatiti and Rangi Chase, who just brushed that off, but it could so easily have produced a whistle from Robert Hicks. Here is the last tackle in Castleford's latest set, and Chase, showing no ill effects, prods it down toward the 10-metre line to Richard Mathers, and Mathers will bring it away for Wakefield.
I think Phil's right. I think Wakefield are feeling the pressure. Look at this. That's the reason Ali Lawatiti gets off his line, knows he can't let Rangi Chase have a split second. And I think you're right. I think Wakefield, just in front, are in a lot better position. Sorry, are in a worse position mentally and emotionally than the Cass side.
Well, you and Phil seem to think Castleford are better off being behind it. I'll have to say that I'd much rather be Wakefield than Castleford.
No,
they lead by 2 points.
I said you've got a better chance of winning, but they look nervous. They look the side under more pressure. And I suppose that's because they've won just one of the last 7. And all of those things are in the back of your mind. I know the game's played at a very fast pace, but you know that you're not in that winning habit.
They're 5 minutes and 36 seconds away from winning this game and making it 2 wins out of 8. Richard Owen comes forward, bang, clatters into Ali Lawatiti and Danny Washbrook. Washbrook, one of 5 try scorers for the Wildcats. Danny Orr, the man who got that try that breathed life into the Castleford Tigers' chances a couple of minutes ago. But they've still got to find a way to the Wakefield Trinity try line. Washbrook again getting through some work. The former Hull FC loose forward. Dixon. And now Danny Orr. And now Rangi Chase. Can he spring the net here, Chase? Desperate tackle by Paul Sykes. Get up, says Robert Hicks. Chase fancied it might be a chance of a penalty. Danny Orr fires the ball inside. A little link up there with Stuart Jones. They're keeping the ball moving with Richard Owen. And Owen straightens up. He's knocked down. Last tackle here. Less than 5 minutes left on the clock. Chase, it's too long. Mathers should collect this and is in goal. Thank you very much, says Richard Mathers. A 20-metre restart for the Wildcats.
Well, not the best kick yet again from Rangi Chase, but Ali Lawatiti took Danny Orr on that set of 6 as well. He's got to make sure that he doesn't give some penalties away. Castleford, a couple of the players looking out on the feet. Hands on the hips.
I'm going to go against you, Phil. I think Cass are going to snatch this. I'm in the element. 7 games in 2 days. I love it. I couldn't think of a better way of spending my time, so I'm going to go first one. I'm going to go for Cass to win this one.
Well, I hope they all go into the last 5 minutes as close as this. The only difference for me at the moment is the quality of the kicks at the end of the sets. They've been more dangerous, more difficult to deal with when Wakefield have put ball to boot.
Who are you going for, Tez?
I want to go with Wakefield, Barry.
Youngquest has got away from one tackle from that high ball. The try right at the second half when the ball bounced over Nick Youngquist's head. At the moment is making the difference because Wakefield only lead by a couple of points. There's only 3.5 minutes left. It's going to have to come late or not at all for Castleford now. And they're still pinned down, penned in inside their own 20-metre area. They're going to have to produce something spectacular.
But both teams are going to be very nervous now. Just over 3 minutes to go in this game. And all it comes down to is a missed tackle, a simple error, which lets the opposition in to score the try.
Chase. He can still pull this one out of the back. Brilliant ball from Rangi Chase to Danny Orr. Orr has got a man inside, which is Millington. Millington offloads. It's still alive. It's still alive. Back to 1. It's going to be back to a try here. Oh, and has he got it down? Has he got the ball down? Nathan Massey, I think it was, under a ruck of bodies. It was back to 1, the call from Robert Hicks. Have Castleford won the game with a couple of minutes to go? They were throwing the ball around wildly in desperation. Chase and Orr were both involved. In the end, it was back to 1. And Nathan Massey, after this offload from Grant Millington, Massey went rumbling towards the try line. And the question is, for James Child, the video ref, has Nathan Massey got it down?
Well, what brilliant play from both sides.
That looked forward in fairness.
It comes off Danny Kermont's hand. The offload goes over the shoulder, it comes off Danny Kermont's hand, and then it goes into Nathan Massey's hand. Well, here's the offload.
There's no knock-on. If they're looking for a knock-on, there's no knock-on. They can't judge in a forward pass. I don't think... Well, it might be.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's gone forward to Massey, who is in an offside position, but he can't judge for a forward pass.
No, he can't. He can't.
Oh my goodness, is there more controversy at the Magic Weekend again? We remember Leeds and Bradford a couple of times. Controversy. He cannot judge on a forward pass.
It's clearly offside. He's clearly offside. He cannot give that try.
Well, I thought initially the ball comes off Kerman, but it comes off his shoulder, doesn't it?
And the Castleford players in front of him, that's an offside position.
Yeah.
He can judge for an offside on the fact that he's in front of the ball. The video ref can't tell us that that ball's gone forward, but he can tell us that Massey is in front of the guy passing it. Work that one out if you can.
It's no try.
Well, it's going to be a penalty, surely. It came off the shoulder of Danny Orr, a penalty for offside. Now look, it's the right decision, surely, but he can't tell us that Danny Orr passed the ball forward, but he can tell us that the guy that received it was in front of Danny Orr. What on earth does that mean?
Do you know, Rod, even if it would have gone right the way through that play, he still didn't ground that ball. It still wasn't a try. Wakefield now get the ball back. It's a penalty to them.
But it is the right decision. There's no question. James Child, the video ref, made the decision. And Wakefield have a penalty, and they're going to eat up a few precious seconds. Well, we were that close to having a really controversial end to match 1 of 7 in 2012 at the Magic Weekend. We have had some controversy over the years in this particular event. Leeds and Bradford. Bradford will tell you blind that Jordan Tansey's try was never a try in the first Magic Weekend. There was controversy between Leeds and Bradford last year. Ben Jones-Bishop had a penalty try awarded, but that one chalked off by James Child, and Wakefield still lead by 2, and only 2 minutes now left for Castleford to salvage something, and they haven't even got their hands on the ball.
Now this is the set of 6 where you don't need to play anymore. You don't need to try and go and win the game with only a couple of minutes to go. But when you have 12 minutes, 13 minutes to go, you still got to keep playing rugby.
Castleford have got a man down in back play as well here. Well, this might wrap it up. Tim Smith's going in for the match winner. That is going to be that. Tim Smith scores the try for the Wildcats that wraps it up. That will be the end of it. He ghosted through a big gap, a tiring Tigers defence. And Tim Smith has finished off the Castleford Tigers, and Wakefield are going to win here at the Etihad.
He deserves that, Tim Smith. He's been the best player on the park. In the first half, he was very influential with his weighted passes, setting up a couple of tries. His kicking game has been sensational, and his overall directional and game control has been fantastic. He scores one himself, and it's exactly what Richard Agar would be after from his team. The forwards have led the way, but Tim Smith, a player who mesmerises the opposition. Poor defence from Castleford. Tim Smith just going across the line, and when he goes across the line, he's looking for a runner. What he's also looking to do is pull a defender out of line or get them so they plant their feet, and that's exactly what Brett Ferris does. Leaves the hole, he goes through it and scores the simplest of tries to finish this game with a win.
I saw on the screen there that Tim Smith scored on his Wakefield debut at Witness in round 1. He hasn't scored since, but he scored a try there that they'll celebrate long into the night at Wakefield. They're going to beat Castleford here. They're going to move up to 11th in the table, and they're going to leapfrog the Castleford Tigers, and all those things add up to a very big night out in Westgate in Wakefield tonight.
I told you Wakefield would win, didn't I, Rod?
Yes.
Fabulous try, fabulous try. Adam Milner, who was down in back play, the extra man told, or the lack of a man in the defensive line told. Wonderful killer instinct from Tim Smith. Brilliant game.
Well, Sykes with the kick, it will make it an 8-point game if he nails it. Impossible to see Castleford coming back and drawing it anyway after that hammer blow. This would nail it down. Well, he has missed. 32-26, and there are 30 seconds left on the watch. So they could get the ball back here. They're going to have to get this ball kicked off pronto, get it up in the air, get it back, and they might be able to run maybe 1 or 2 plays. They have got to get this ball down and kicked. There's a lot of time being wasted here. They took 15 seconds getting this ball kicked off. It's high. Castleford have got to recover it to have any kind of chance, and they have. They've got the football. They'll be able to run 1 play here, Castleford. 1 play. They've got to get this ball up in the air as high as they possibly can. Surely It's a cross-field kick towards Thompson. Thompson offloads. It's knocked on, and that will be that. Wakefield have won the game. They might even add some more points here. Ben Cockayne offloads to Ali Lawatiti. Has he got the legs? Lawatiti to Cockayne. Ben Cockayne wraps it up. Spectacular style. He goes to the screen to see if that is a legitimate try. Champagne football from Wakefield in the final seconds as Cockayne celebrates what he thinks is another try. It would be his 8th of the season, and it would be Wakefield's 7th of the match.
Well, this is an unbelievable finish to a game, isn't it? Castleford going to the right edge. Rangi Chase looking to set the wingers free to at least get a draw in this game. Does Ben Cockayne knock this ball off?
I don't think he does, Tez. I think this is a brilliant try. Jordan Thompson almost passes it into Ben Cockayne. I think that's what they're looking at. He's trying to catch it and pass it at the same time. He passes it into the body, chest, bicep area of Ben Cockayne. This is a meat pie for me.
You can see he's not even looking at the ball.
That's the best angle to see it. He's not looking at the ball, but it possibly touches him.
Well, the first angle, you could see that he was focusing on Jordan Thompson and tackling Jordan Thompson. He offloads the ball, it goes into the chest of Ben Cockayne.
Well, it's not going to affect the outcome of the match, it's just going to affect the winning margin, and it's going to affect Ben Cockayne's try tally for the year. He's hoping for his 8th try of Super League 17, and I don't think it's going to be given because the video ref has apparently seen enough. Now, it's going to be a penalty to Castleford. Well, hang on, he's given that for pulling back in the tackle, James Child. Now Wakefield, who'd all huddled at the other end of the field thinking they just wrapped the game up, are now in trouble again here.
So that wasn't
Oh, no, there.
So it's Vince Mellors.
Oh, now.
So it's Vince Mellors who's penalised.
Vince Mellors. So, Castleford are going to get one last play. Oh, my goodness. More controversy at the Magic Weekend. Let's see what happens now. They're going to get one chance. They're going to get one chance here, Castleford.
Where's
Chase has got his hands on the ball. Well, that's knocked down. That'll be play on. That will be play on. That'll be a knock-on. It'll be a knock-on, and that will be that. Well, a flat ending, because Castleford never got the ball in the end. Why didn't Chase get it hoisted high? Why didn't he put it in the air?
It needed to go up, God. It needed to go up in the air to make a contest of it. Tell your teammates you've got 12 on-rushing attackers that go for the ball, pressurising a couple of players, place it in the parts of the park where you want to attack.
Well, Wakefield have won the first game of the Magic Weekend. It was a 12-try spectacular.